Well, thank you for welcoming us back, Derpy Music, but we just finished up beating Magikoopa, and he gave us this delectable Aura Stone. Thank you very much. And now with all this out of the way, the keep is pretty much done for. Except for a couple things. This one I'm just going to show that we actually cannot do. Yeah, we have to beat the game first. Makes sense. And I would say remember this for later, but I'm pretty sure most people know what it is. We don't have nearly enough coins to need to abuse that. And again, not like it will really matter near the end of the game. We're gonna need Star Rod on Geno. You will see why. Because, not just because of this particular fight with a villain who we've never seen before. Yeah, this is pretty random, I have to admit. And I remember other LPs I've seen of this saying that this guy is entirely random, and while I do like this fight, I can agree with that. Because old Boomer here really has no place outside of this specific room. And he's not very threatening, I have to admit. I know it's probably because we're doing incredibly powerful attacks to him, but really, he's taking damage like a twig. I mean, yeah, he does counter damage occasionally, but nothing really that spectacular about him anyway. Oh, and that was over incredibly quickly. Yeah, not very hard, again. And I have to say, the reason I said I like this fight is because I kind of like this scene. How it's all like, he's a soldier, he'll die in battle with his honor. I think it's kind of touching in a way, and they got this sad music playing. It'd have been a lot more sad if I actually cared for the character, of course, but we meet him so briefly, and then just like that he's gone, to where it doesn't really matter. So yeah, you might be wondering at this point why, for the Boomer fight, we had the Star Rod equipped as opposed to the Bombs Away, and why I made a point of it specifically to do so. Well, pretty much everybody knows what's next. And for those who don't, you'll see why. The main reason is for the next part of this whole excursion. I don't know why they're jumping around like that, necessarily. Fasten your seatbelts, there are no seatbelts. Reminds me of the Rise of the Guardians part of the trailer. Anyway. So yeah, we get coins of experience, and then we're greeted with this horrible thing. Yeah, this is Exor. And this is why we have Bowser on our team. Because he gets enraged, and he tries to reclaim it and everything. Yeah, I have to admit, I think Exor is one of the coolest fights in the game. Because look at that, it's a giant badass sword. But anyway, we have the Neo Squid and the two eyes, of course. And Exor himself, who we cannot hurt. Which is why you noticed it said the eye is protecting Exor. You of course know what that means. We have to put the eye, one of the eyes, out of commission. And there goes one of them. And yeah, they all do attacks at us, and some of them are worse than others. But yeah, once his protection is gone, you can start wailing on him. Otherwise, if you noticed when I did the Corona before, all it did was a flat 0. And this happens every once in a while. Similar to Mallow getting in a rage fighting Valentina. And yeah, I guess he'll do that randomly. I think it's nice that he did it to the mouth. Because that put it just over the edge for... yeah. Now, this is a silly look for a giant mighty sword, isn't it? It's like, eyes are like, oh my god, dizzy, and then his mouth's like, no. That's exactly what it looks like. And of course it has my favorite boss music in this fight, so all around I say this is pretty much the best one in the game. Not that I've necessarily seen all the other boss fights in this hacked version, but nevertheless, I still think this is the cooler one. Speaking of which, I didn't realize until just yesterday that there's an entirely more difficult boss fight that I skipped inadvertently. And yeah, there goes Exor. That was not hard. In any way. But don't worry, we'll come back. Spoiler alert. But yeah, there was apparently, if you remember all the way back to the second episode, there was the chest that gave me the first Aura Stone we got. Apparently, if I'd waited until later, I could fight the Master in, like, 1,000,000 times harder. Which would have been cool, and way down the road, I might play through this whole game again, because now there's no way I can do it, I've learned, and show the Jinx fight, but that'll be way distant in the future if I do ever do that. And I would like to, but it's like if I ever have nothing to do, I'll play through this whole game again, but it's so long that doing all that would be awful. And this is a bunch of exposition. Not a bunch, but whatever. Bowser has an internal dilemma again. Cretins. I love his vocabulary. Yeah. I'm so sly. That's the best part. So yeah, now we are here. This is technically the factory. And if you notice, we have our super boss fight music. And that's what happens when you fall off. There you go. I'll be cutting that out as much as possible. Just by speeding it up, basically. And this intones, the music here intones a very dangerous part of the world in general. And yes, I would say that this is. And you'll see why. I'm trying to not fight these enemies because they get kind of awful. I'll go ahead and show it. Yeah, Geno it transforms into a member of your party. So, and there's Mr. Party Killer himself. Yeah, that is one who has been hinted at throughout the game multiple times, the least of which is during the pirate ship, as y'all remember. Oh, and by the way, last chest of the game. Now to immediately go and claim our prize, basically. But what was I saying? Yeah, he's been kind of in and out throughout the game, and a little bit in Bowser's Keep too, though it didn't really show. And he just comes along and ruins the party, basically. And oh, he definitely intends to do it while you're in here. More than just a couple times, let's just say that. It's got that always present kind of feeling where, oh, he could come up right behind me at any minute. And I do have a question about him that I don't know if... Well, it's weird, because Dark Kefka, I don't know exactly what to do about him. Because, yeah, I can fight him, it seems, any time. As in being in the factory. There are a couple times where I can just go and fight him, but is that the way I'm supposed to do it, is the question. By the way, yeah, Aura Stone, whatever. So yeah, only here is where it reveals that if we do the super jump, or if we use the Aura Stone and do a super jump a trillion times. 2 beautiful Aura Stones, and I'm planning to use them at very specific times. Those times are known only to me, but it has to do with the thing that I said, remember it for later, in a way. And, I'd forgotten to get this before, but there is one other thing we can get, as an equipment, that I have to get rid of something in our inventory, of course. I'm eventually going to get rid of most of these things, because at one point, usually they don't really matter. But just one to get rid of is all I need. I already have the Dragon Claw, I guess, get rid of that. A lot of those you can just buy whenever, so they don't really matter. But we actually have to go back to Tadpole Pond, because once you find out that Mallow is a prince, you can come back here and tell Frogfucius what you learned. Yep. Prince, never would have guessed. Come a long way. He gives us the Holy Rod. And basically what that does is, yeah, of course it goes to our old friend Mallow. And look at that special attack, 636. But we don't really care about it right now. It's just good to have on him, though. Anyway, now we will head back to the keep because there are a couple things we can do. The least of which is basically just trying to survive. So just get up there here. And reflection, it probably would have been quicker to go the other way, but whatever. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this music, actually, which is why the first time I fought against some of the super bosses, I was so intrigued to hear that they had this music. It is really menacing and interesting in a lot of ways, I think. I guess I'll go ahead and show this fight. So, you just basically wail on him. They're usually good at dodging physical attacks. At least I thought they were. And they do lame attacks like that. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. Jeez, decent bit of coins and experience there. But, yeah, that's 16 FP and 2 physical attacks, plus a certain amount of HP taken from all 3 of our members that we do not really care for basically doing. And that was relatively close. But now, after this save box, things get really feisty. What do I mean by feisty, you ask? Well, basically, annoying. Yeah, Bowyer's, I think this was made, like, more difficult from this hack, but the arrows go a lot faster, and that should give a clear indication of what we can expect further down the line. Come on! Thank you. Okay, I wasn't even moving, seriously. Just throw some heals. And yeah, we got reconstructions, basically. And they are not fun, and you cannot run from them, so avoiding them at all costs is preferable. Inevitably, though, we'll run into one eventually. And Holy Stone. That's good to have, actually. Because I know in the last segment I didn't really deduce which is better, Holy Stone or Holy Crystal. Oh, there he goes. I guess at this point it's good to find out which one is. Holy Stone. Okay, Holy Stone only targets one, and Holy Crystal targets all of them. And it kills all the ghosts immediately, which is nice. And we get another one, you're the best, for giving me those, and you, the viewers, will find out why later. I don't know why it gave us power surges, don't really care about those necessarily. Stupid. Whoa. Haven't seen one of those ghosts since the sewers. Thankfully, that let us flee, because everything there basically took me by surprise. Alright, and now the largest conglomeration of constructs. So yeah, basically any of any of Smithy's minions that we have fought before, we can fight amidst all of these reconstructions. And they don't really do too much damage. They're just nuisances at this point. Yeah, whatever. Like I said, nothing too bad. They pop out everywhere though, so we'll take advantage of healing while we can. Just in case, because it's easy to accidentally run into them, especially when you have all these Axum Reds doing the electric slide. It's electric. Boogie, boogie, boogie. Okay. And yeah, that's really... Right here was really the only part where the arrows fly at you. Everywhere else along this line doesn't really, so whatever. Go, 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 go! Okay, good. Ah, man, I was so close. Really, it does kind of suck that you can't run from these. I don't even know if you can or not in the real game. Not that it really matters at this point, just wondering. Alright, that was that. Who cares? Not me! Hey, thanks for the live stream, I guess. And, of course, we have to face Yuridovich. Come on, there you go. Did you have to bring 2 Axums with you? Really? Yeah, even Yuridovich's attacks don't do too terribly worse at this point than they did the last time, so... Whatever, you know? Yeah, he went down pretty easily, too. And the Axums continue to be bitches, but we don't care. I think you can die with a... Oh, there you go. And yes, we have to go down there and fight more things, so let's beef ourselves up. And we have these 2 big-lipped alligator bosses. I think that was some Big Dip used in his playthroughs, but it applies to a lot of them here. These 2 especially. The best trick here is to focus on one of them. I just picked Cloaker at random. I don't really know which one is worse to fight, but whatever. You'll see why in a minute that it's good to focus on just one. Yeah, he went down pretty quickly. So now we have Domino. I always wondered, too, was that a giant, like, beard and mustache on Cloaker, or were those his teeth? By the way, don't focus on Domino here, he'll take no damage. Mad Adder. Snake pun. The other snake, like, it's different. It's Mad Adder for Domino, and for Cloaker, I think it's something like Earthlink? I don't remember, but... Yeah, these guys aren't doing really awful attacks, so it doesn't really matter. From what I remember, this guy goes down pretty quickly. There you go, I remembered right. And yeah, I always thought it was weird how... Oh yeah! Well, thanks for healing us, because... in this particular room... all I'll say is be ready, because this is a fight that we've been leading up to for a while. And the best method to use against him is the stones, the holy ones, basically. Each one does different, I think. 750, yeah! Love that crystal doing 9999. Makes me wish I had more. And the stones do... oh. Like 48? Yeah, whatever. Still good. But yeah, this is one of the harder fights of the super bosses. And my question was, I don't know if I should flee or not. Throw a save state, because he might be able to die right now after a stone. I don't know, Dark Kefka, what I was going to ask. Oh. Well, there he goes. Is that the way I'm supposed to fight him, Dark Kefka? I honestly don't know. So, feel free to answer that if you can, if you're watching. And that was a lot for this segment. So next time, we will go into the deeper parts of the factory and maybe get to Smithy. I don't know. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Till next time, see you all later.